Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. It's your boy DELRAY Richardson, platinum artist, platinum songwriter, Game TV. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate your time. Do me a favor, click on that thumbs up button, share the feed. I gotta come in. I think a lot of people are being brought up to speed. Boogie Brown, Carla Shepherd, what's happening? I gotta bring people up to speed on how this the pyramid of lies is starting to fall, if you will. And as we've seen throughout a culmination of years, the lies that have been told, and then there's a pivot that's trying to be made, should I say. There's a pivot that's trying to be made to now jump over on the other side of the fence. And now something else new is presented as if the old lies were never told. And so now I'm on this side. And like I told you guys before, I gave you the scenario of facts involving the doctoring of views on Bomb First. I gave you the information and what people tried to come over and they tried to say, well, it was a B minus. No, it was a D minus the day before. It was a B, it was a D. No, you can go on Social Blade and actually, change your what's the name? They have a premium subscription, and that's what was done. But more importantly, the 7 million views that were taken down from Bomb First for doctoring the views. Once again, they weren't really getting the views that they were trying to make us believe that they were getting. And they kept talking about other people who were getting more views than them and trying to somehow draw the attention from the people who were getting a lot of views over to what they were trying to present, which was a bunch of lies. And you could see by when I presented the video, the D minus. I have no reason to doctor anything. And I actually did the research the night before, or the night that I did it and I released that video. That's why I did it that night. See, they didn't know that. See, I released the video that night because I know how Social Blade works, right? So when I put it out and there was a D minus, if they came back the next day, they went on there and they, did what they had to do to try to up the grade of what the video is. I mean, what their channel is on Social Blade. And that's what they did. So the manipulation was through and through. It didn't stop there. Once they found like, oh, and then people kept coming back. It was like, oh no, but it's a B. I actually went on there, it's a B, right? Because I gave them a whole day, at least 10 hours, 4 or 5, let's say like 8 hours to go over there and get it right. Because they have a subscription over there on Social Blade. See, I know those things. And so once again, the manipulation came through. But more importantly, let's get into so for over the years, we've been hearing so many stories from Bomb First and Reggie Wright Jr. that it's ridiculous. And the reason why I say that, and I dealt with it chronologically, starting with Tupac, like Reggie still denying that he was fired. He's still denying that he was fired. He's still trying to claim that he had a relationship with Tupac that he didn't have. He's now trying to speak favorably of Tupac when he said that he believed that Tupac was somehow sexually assaulted in jail. He said that Tupac was signed to death row. We know that he wasn't. All of these things that Reggie Wright Jr. has come out and said in regards to Tupac, about the relationships that he's had, the situation involving his mom, saying that the reason why Tupac's cars weren't in his name because Tupac had bad credit, and so on and so forth, as if the Hummer wasn't in Tupac's name. See, These are the things that most people didn't really pay attention to. When people would say things about certain things, see, remember the Hummer Tupac had? The Hummer was in Tupac's name. So if Tupac had bad credit, then how did he get the Hummer? From that perspective, right? You know, being it whatever it was at that particular time, you know, Tupac had a deal, and we understand now where all the money was actually coming from. So I understand why the things and the cars and stuff wasn't in his name. The apartments and stuff like that, I don't understand that. I'll never understand that. But the cars and stuff like that, because basically they were leased vehicles, if you will. They were basically leased vehicles. And so before most people could understand that, and then when everything went down, you know, it was what it was from that perspective. The Benz, you know, when he passed away, I think the Benz was one, but like all of those other cars and things like that, like, you know, it wasn't in his name. So it was never really his. You know what I mean? So how could anybody call shots on anything that's not in somebody's name? You can't call shots on that. That's why the Hummer, when everything went down, the Hummer went up for sale and went up for auction, right? But the lies, like I said, the lies over and over and over again, the lies that have been told in regards to Tupac, in regards to Reggie Wright Jr., who really didn't know Tupac, like I said. And so now here comes, you know, Tupac was the, you know, they did an interview over on Vlad with Trade E the other day, and, you know, here comes Reggie being asked by John about what Trade E said. Now Trade E can express his opinion, right? Well, you know, so they've so run out of content. Now it's like, let me ask Reggie about what Vlad asked Trade E. Like, that has nothing to do with anything. You know what I mean? Trade E has an opinion because he was there under observation, part of the, you know, the dog pound system, the East Siders and all of that. He would know from his perspective. That doesn't call for somebody to call me, you know, let's, what do you think about what he said? No, what he said is what he said, because he was there and he's still there. And there I bring you into now the situation involving Snoop and Reggie spreading all of those lies. Snoop don't own Death Row. You know, it's this, it's that. They need to show me the paperwork. I need to see this. I need to see that. None of that shit was true that he was talking. You got to understand that. Did the Dog Pound just release an album on Death Row? We All We Got album is released under Death Row. Go look on Spotify, right? So you mean to tell me all of the work that Snoop putting in, the videos and all of this, the production and all of this, he doing that for what? For somebody else? Right. So when we understand what it is that's been done, and then one minute a person can criticize on one side of the game, but then once everything comes out and is shown to be true about the lies that Reggie Wright and Gullible John over at Bomb First have been spreading, now they try to jump on the other side. Oh, I told you Snoop was always my favorite artist. No, you basically went against everything that man was saying. Every time he came out with something, you came against him. And this has been the modus operandi of Bomb First and Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. Right. He still has yet to tell us about his relationship with the FBI in depth. You know what I mean? When we talk about what's been going on from that perspective. Right. Absolutely. He talked about Snoop, his wife, you know, and all of these other things that he didn't know anything about. He just was criticizing to criticize. And I bring you this, right? Because I was part of that criticism that he was making, so much so that he filed a lawsuit against me, right? You guys know, for the most people, and for the people who might be coming in the chat, you know, yeah, he did that, right? But the lawsuit was dismissed because it was meritless. It wasn't true. It was another lie. And it was another lie based on the fact that I had been telling the truth about his moves and the things and the narratives and the false narratives that he was creating, right? In order to gain popularity. He did it to Shaq. He did it to a whole bunch of celebrities Tyron Turner, Jamie Foxx, P. Diddy before all of this other stuff came out. Situations and things that he would not know about certain people, right? Up to as of recently saying that he believed that Biggie was bisexual. How would he know that? You understand what I'm saying? All of these things and all of these salacious things in order to get views, right? And so, like I said, with the Snoop situation, we see the Dogg Pound just released the album on Death Row. You don't hear him saying no more about that because he was lying. When I had Daz on my when I did the Daz interview and Daz was talking about the Dogg Pound, the record, what they were working on and so on and so forth, was Daz telling the truth? Because the record is out. Was him and he was trying to tell us that Daz and Snoop had beef, and as if he knew about it. He did not know. And the proof that he did not know was the fact that we see the materialization of the project that was just released. Of everybody in cahoots, Daz, Corrupt, Trey D, Goldie Low, all of them guys, they all together. You know what I mean? And so under the banner of what they're doing under Death Row, and so Snoop is also working on an album with Dr. Dre. Right? And I believe it's coming out under Death Row, the new Death Row. And like I said, once again, so when you think about the big picture and all the lies that have been told, now you know that they're lies. And now you know, if you listen to what they've been saying, that you've been duped. That you've been duped. And to stop any kind of truth from coming out, the modus operandi is to attack. Attack Gene Deal. Attack Gene Deal on the art of dialogue and what he's saying. Because once again, Reggie was not around for a lot of the things that he comments on and comes from a third and fourth party perspective. But somehow, some way, we need his opinion in regards to what's been going on and so on and so forth. And he really doesn't articulate or say anything. He adds nothing new to the conversation, right? Because as this thing that we do on YouTube, it's about commentary. And if you can't add anything new or expose anything or put the people on to anything new, what you're saying is just worthless. We know now for a fact, beyond any shadow of a doubt, he was masquerading under the fact, and this goes into the Suge situation, that he ran Death Row. He did not run Death Row, period. Suge said it. Suge said it. Michelle A. ran Death Row. We know that. I told y'all that. But okay, cool. You didn't have to believe me. I showed you an affidavit. Okay, cool. You ain't got to believe that. Suge came out and said it. And Reggie had been begging Suge to say my name. You can say my name. He wants Suge to say his name because he wants to be identified, for the people who may not know that he had anything to do with failing Suge Knight and Tupac in Las Vegas. You understand what I'm saying? And so every time somebody comes out and there's a hot topic and someone speaks on it, here he comes with his 5 cents. Right? Not to add anything to it, but to try to kick up dust about what that person is saying in regards to who may have been there from a first-hand basis, and whether he believes it or he doesn't believe it. That's not a commentary game. You're not adding nothing new. Anybody can do that. A 5-year-old can do that. What do you think about this? But can you expose something or get us to see something that we may have never saw before in regards to what that is? And like I said, once again, he was just security at Death Row. Failed security at that. He still cannot admit that on that night, he took the security off Tupac. And if he would have done a better job, the situation may have not went down like it went down if he would have sent the security guard like Suge had asked him. If he wouldn't have been so petty and took the security off him because he knew he was fired by Tupac personally. And they still try to keep coming with that same argument in my comments about how, well, if Tupac fired Reggie, then he didn't have to be there for him in Vegas. No, you're misinformed and you don't know what you're talking about. The fact of the matter is that Reggie was hired by Death Row and Suge was his boss. And what Suge told him to do, he should have did what he told him to do it. And the fact that he didn't do it, right? That was a method of sabotage. So when people try to say, oh yeah, Reggie set that up in Vegas, and I ain't set shit up. It was about sabotage. He sabotaged a situation from the inside. And he sabotaged it because he was petty. Right? So it's different. It's even worse because you have an inside, perspective and position, and you can do something from the inside because you know the inner workings, right? So that's what happened. He sabotaged Tupac because Tupac had fired him and had the gall to fire him and say he didn't want him, right? Now, Reggie recently did a video and tried to come out and try to cover up that lie by saying, oh, we had different people on Tupac, as you see. It was Michael Moore, it was Al Giddens, it was Frank Alexander, it was Kevin Hackey, it was all of this. And like I said, for the person who really doesn't understand and know, different people worked on different days. So different people would have that duty, just like before Frank Alexander came to Vegas to be Tupac's bodyguard that night, the week before, because Frank was on vacation, it was Michael Moore who had him. And the pictures show that, right? So there would be different people on different days. Tupac had requested that Frank be his bodyguard, that he really wanted to work with Frank from that perspective. And like I said, that's no secret. But once again, when Reggie talks, he speaks as if we don't know, and he tries to create another lie around the situation. He lied about the got him statement. We know that. He lied about that and said it happened in the nightclub amongst loud music so nobody could hear it. But then he tried to use Michael Moore's and Frank Alexander's video to prove that he went to the hospital with Suge Knight because Michael Moore got in the car with him. But he never mentioned that. He never mentioned that until Suge Knight spoke out and said Reggie never came to the hospital. You see how he lies? So once that truth came out and Suge was like, you ain't never come to the hospital, and I ain't never tell you nothing about nothing like that. As long as Suge was kept quiet about that, Reggie would have never revealed the fact that Michael Moore was in the back of that car with him when they went to the hospital. And see, Michael Moore had spoke about the got him thing, right? But remember, Reggie never admitted that Michael Moore was in the car. He only said that it was him and the lawyer, George Calise. You see what I'm saying? This is how devious he is with the lies, And so all of the things, and so everything has started to come out now that Suge is speaking out, right? So now Suge says that, and he's like, oh, you know what? Now that I remember, if I think about it, well, Michael Moore, he even said X, Y, and Z, that he went to the hospital. That's not what we're focused on. We're focused on the fact that Michael Moore said he heard got him over your radio, in which you said that didn't work like that. But then when Keefe got locked up, you went in front of the grand jury, and all of a sudden, after 27 odd some years, had lied and said that it didn't work like that. All of a sudden now, he told the grand jury what? Yeah, that the Nextels had two-way radios now. What? For 27 years, he had been denying it. So the only person that was trying to impute themselves or involve themselves in the Keefe case was Reggie Wright Jr. The only person who said that they've cooperated with the FBI against crooked mayors and niggas that he don't like is Reggie Wright Jr. So when you sit there and you listen to somebody like that, who is a disgrace to his own community, right? Even after the fact that he was participating in selling drugs to his community as a former police officer, now trying to prop himself up like he was somebody that was worthy of respect. You see the manipulation, the snakeism. You know, you can maneuver, let me maneuver and, you know, say this and formulate this argument. None of it makes sense. How? So if he don't like somebody, right, and he might know something about you, he gonna call the people up and tell them, you know, yeah, I heard you over there doing X, Y, and Z. You know, y'all might want to give that a look. You know, what? You understand what I'm saying? From that perspective, they've done him. He just don't like him. So let me, y'all, oh, you know, he over there doing the 1, 2. Oh, okay. You know, go check him out. That's basically what he was saying in regards to his own community and people from his community. So now, like I said, Suge Knight has spoken out, and now we get a chance to see everything being revealed in real time. So much so, once again, if it wasn't for Suge Knight, we would not know who Reggie Wright Jr. is. It's that simple. It's that simple. So if Reggie Wright Jr. can't be loyal or respectful, right, to the person who put him on and gave him the avenue to be able to talk, even though Reggie Wright Jr. failed Suge Knight. See, and most people ask the question, well, why would Suge Knight put Reggie in charge of Death Row when he got locked? He wasn't in charge of Death Row. That's the part that people don't get. And now you understand that from what needs to be said. He wasn't in charge of Death Row. Suge came out and said that. He had everybody believing that he was in charge of Death Row, and the people over there at Death Row who Mike was trying to get deals. You know, you believe what you want to believe. You know, you trying to get on. You know, yeah, he in charge. Yes, my man, whatever, cool. We get that. But at the end of the day, he wasn't in charge. He was a liaison, right? So a lot of people saw it from a different perspective, from the wrong angle, if you will, right? But now we see what it really was. And one of the most devastating lies is this. When Tupac fired Reggie, right? August 11th, the letter. August 11th, August 27th, 1996, right? So when he fires him, right, Reggie tries to make it look like that the letter that he received happened in June. Listen to me very carefully, guys. I want you to understand this so that you understand how devious this guy is, right? And he will say anything. Tupac sends the letter out, has the letter sent out. Yasmin Fuller helps Tupac cultivate this letter, and Tupac is ready to clean house. He tried to get his masters. They tried to stop him from getting his masters at the studio. Tupac pissed off, right? Tupac ready to exit. He's kind of done, and that's not nothing against nobody. Like the business relationship and the contractual fulfillment for what we understand now with Interscope was basically done. He had 3 more albums to complete under his Interscope contract. It's not a Death Row, like I said. We know that now, right? So now they won't give Tupac his masters. Tupac pissed off. He fires David Kenner and Reggie Wright Jr. Same day, right? This is a fact. This is the fact. So now, on August 27th, 1996. So now, but what Reggie tries to do, because the letter was not released, Frank had the letter, but the letter never was released to the public up until last year, right? When Yasmin Fuller released the letter. Yaki Gaddafi's mom released the letter because Reggie was talking greasy about it. Listen closely. So Tupac fires him August 27, 1996, right? Sends a letter out to him and David Kenner. So as the years have come up and we've come into these years of what we know, when Yasmin Fuller finally released it, before she released it, Reggie tried to talk about when Tupac sent the letter firing him. And he tried to put it at the House of Blues in and around June 1996. Why would he try to do that when it happened clearly, as the fact stated, on August 27, 1996, right? That's one of the most egregious lies. And then he adds another lie to it, and he says that Suge asked him, hey, Reg, where the security for Tupac at, right? And he says this happens at the House of Blues. It didn't happen at the House of Blues. It happened in Las Vegas. Get it? That's what Suge was talking about. Suge was talking about what he asked Reggie to send more security, where the security at. And Reggie says in that what happened at the House of Blues, well, and this is on tape. Well, he sent a letter today firing me. He faxed me. He said, no. Now, he didn't say he sent the letter. He said he faxed me a letter. This is before the fax even came out through Yasmin Fuller, man. He faxed me over a letter firing me, right? So now, he's been telling us all these years that he never got the letter, that he didn't know nothing about it. So not only did he lie about not being fired, he lied about where it happened at. He lied about not receiving the letter, right? And the reason why he did that, because he did not want the public to put together the fact that when Tupac fired him, it was approximately 11 days before Tupac got shot. And he would be part of the sabotage and pulling the security off of Tupac in Las Vegas that night. That's why you see Frank Alexander running through the MGM with Tupac with his head cut off, trying to guard him and looking around. You go back and you look at the tape and you see it. Then when the situation goes down and they leave in the hotel, you see the first person. Who's the first person to leave out the door? Who's leading the whole crowd? It was Tupac. And Frank was right behind him. There was no other security. Despite the fact that Suge had said send 5 more security guards, you need to understand these facts. That Reggie lied about all of that. Reggie Wright Jr. has no credibility in relation to Tupac, Suge Knight, or any of those things because he failed. His credibility is minus 4.570. I'm going to say it, minus 4.570. And everybody sitting back thinking that when I speak on this, no, I don't come from a place, like I said, that's the reason why he tried to come at me and tried to talk bad about me, because I was telling the truth. So the only way, it's like the media, if you're telling the truth, they'll try to smear your name and try to, create these, alternative narratives in regards to what it is and what it isn't and so on and so forth. But this is the reason why, right? And then you go into the Frank Alexander situation. Once again, Frank Alexander was telling the truth. No, Reggie didn't have nothing to do with Frank Alexander dying. No. Frank Alexander took his own life for whatever it was, and Frank Alexander was suicidal. He had said that on many occasions. May he rest in peace. So I'm not giving nobody no credit for nothing. You know what I mean? The mystique of all of what that is, no. From what I understand and the information that I got, it was true. And so now, but I'm going to say this about Frank Alexander from that perspective when we talk about what he tried to get Frank to do. Once again, knowing that he had basically disobeyed Suge Knight, he had sabotaged the situation. He wasn't there to protect his friend or his friend like he claimed he was with Suge Knight. He was nowhere to be found, right? After it was all said and done, and they go back to Suge Knight's place, and Suge is questioning Frank, like, Frank, what happened? What was up, right? And Frank tell him, well, Reggie, the security, I was the only guy on him, and all of the things that had transpired earlier that day. Reggie then tries to threaten Frank, right? To lie and basically say that Orlando Anderson tried to snatch Tupac chain, and that was the reason why they fought. And then he tried to say that the reason why he told Frank to say that was because he was trying to give David Kenner an alibi in regards so Tupac wouldn't go back to jail. Right? Right? We know for a fact, once again, on the appeal, David Kenner wasn't the lead attorney. He may have been overseeing it, but he wasn't the lead attorney. Charles Ogletree. It was Charles Ogletree. Right? Because the case was in New York. Let's be clear about what this is and what that isn't, right? Interscope had gave Tupac money in order to pay his lawyers, Charles Ogletree and them, right? So they were still in the corner, but they couldn't get up in front like they wanted to because of the corporate, of the optics of how that would look, right? So the lie that he'd asked Frank to tell, right, and then threatened Frank, according to the tapes that we all heard. If you haven't heard them, you go listen to what Frank and Michael Moore were saying on the tapes. Why would you, if he wasn't there, just accept it for what it was? But the reason why he asked Frank Alexander to lie was to save face, because he knew he had sabotaged Tupac and Suge that night. For whatever he did that for is his own reasons, other than the fact that he was fired. So when people say, well, if he was fired, he didn't have to be there for Tupac. Wrong. He worked for Death Row. He worked for Death Row before he worked for Tupac. Tupac was nice enough. Listen to this, y'all, because nobody ever wanted to really see it this way. Tupac was nice enough to give him a job on side of the job that he was doing for Death Row. Tupac was nice enough to say, okay, cool, I'm going to use your security as my personal security too, and not go get the Nation or whoever else that he would normally get, or just roll by himself like he would normally roll, right? So Tupac was trying to look out for Reggie and his security company, and when confronted with that situation, the first thing that Reggie said was, I didn't need that little bit of money nowhere. I didn't need that little bit of money. And if that was the case, I would have been like, he said, if that were the case and I knew I was fired, I would have been like, fuck that nigga, right? This is what he said about Tupac. This is all on, a few videos that I made. I might repost that video because it's so powerful, right? He basically said if he knew that he was fired and he had seen that letter, he would have been like, fuck Tupac, fuck that nigga, right? When I just showed you that he knew that he was fired. He tried to make it seem like it happened in June, right? But he knew that it happened on August 27, 1996. So it was fuck that nigga. He basically laid out the sentiment that he had after he was fired when they went to Vegas, and he did what he did. He was like, fuck that nigga. I'm not securing him for shit. That wasn't his job. His job was to do what Suge said, and Suge told him to send more security guards, and he didn't. He sent more security guards. Tupac can't get away. Tupac's, protected and insulated, not only from other people, but from himself. You know what I mean? That's what security is also about. Security is also about it, stopping you from doing something that that's unbecoming, that might hurt you as an individual, as the star or the person that's being secured at that particular time. As simple as that, right? And then, everybody, I want you to understand, Tupac, demonized by Reggie Wright Jr., right? Snoop Dogg, demonized by Reggie Wright Jr., right? Suge Knight, demonized by Reggie Wright Jr. Michael Moore, demonized even after death by Reggie Wright Jr., right? Frank Alexander, demonized even after death by Reggie Wright Jr. Now, all of these people demonized? Why? They call that mirroring, right? Because Reggie Wright Jr. knows that he was the ultimate line of defense, and his security company was the ultimate line of defense from preventing anything from happening. And he know that he failed. Your security is your first line of defense. Having weapons, having a protocol, having eyes and ears, outside before you go outside, making sure the cars are right, everybody pulling up, you coming out. He failed. And so he's been lying ever since about damn near everything that he said, even down to, the checks that he had been receiving. I exposed all of this. And like I said, the reason why he tried to file a frivolous lawsuit against me is because I was telling the truth. But he should have never called me names. I didn't say nothing to him. I didn't really know who he was. He wasn't no object or factor on my radar. I was just telling my experiences. That was basically it. But then he started to attack me because he wanted some of that limelight or some of that juice from them numbers that I was doing over on the Art of Dialogue. which his video still hasn't surpassed those numbers. So he was mad because his thing was numbers thing. So now that brings you back to the videos that I just did the other day in regards to what? The numbers and the view manipulation that he had been putting on. YouTube docked him for 7 million views. They took away 7 million views. And he tried to lie and said it was because of videos that he had behind the scene. No, they don't do that. You ain't got that many videos with that many views behind the scenes where they would dock you and subtract 7 million views from your channel. And the reason why that was so is because they had the bots working and giving and putting up extra views from people who didn't actually view the videos. So it's all a sham. It's a sham. It's a sham. I'm going to tell y'all something, because I got to tell y'all this. You want to know something else? Let's deal with these facts. Facts. Listen to this, y'all. So when we were settling the case, when I had to talk to Reggie on the phone, I reluctantly talked to him on the phone, but I had to do it because he's suing me in federal court. And I'm ready to file a motion to dismiss. And I have to do this by law due to the 7.3 hearing, right? Do you know he called me on the phone and he had John from Bomb First on the phone with him. He let me know that he had John on the phone. And he asked me, and they asked me, and I swear on everything I love and everything I represent. He asked me, he said, man, this ain't part of the, the settlement, where we won't call each other names or nothing like that, which he broke as of recent, right? This ain't part of that, but, would you be willing to come on Bomb First? I swear on everything I love. And you know what I told him? That's not part of this conversation right now, man. I wouldn't be interested in that right now. Period. So they wanted me to come on Bomb First. I'm thinking to myself, Playboy, you just sued me in federal court. And I had to put my legal cap back on, really delve into these legalities of what this is and the precedents and the laws that govern copyright, defamation, and things like that. Oh, I was ready. I had the motion to dismiss already bumped to go. You know what I mean? I just needed to do the 7.3 hearing, the meeting and talk to him so if we could see if we could get this out of the way. And he agreed because he didn't have a case. Number one, he didn't have a copyright. Prima facie evidence of any copyright case is a legal copyright at the Library of Congress. Period. Bottom line, you have no case. You're wasting the court's time. Defamation didn't happen because everything that I said was true. But the audacity, the unmitigated gall to sit there and ask me after you filed a federal lawsuit against me in federal court for something that you said that I did that I didn't do. And we on the cusp of, okay, settling or whatever. And they would ask me, yo, would you come on Bomb First? And are you kidding me? What? Right. And this is what I'm telling you when you think about what people are saying and what they're doing, right? The audacity to ask me, yo, when I come on Bomb First. Absolutely, positively not, man. Come on now. What I look like. And I don't know, because they keep crying this broke thing. Like, oh, you broke me. Dang, got this and got that. No, motherfucker don't know. They don't know what I got. They don't know nothing about me from that perspective, right? But if I can't be that broke, because I ain't going on your show, I said no. I don't dance for bags, Playboy. I mean, I'm a man of substance. I don't dance for bags. You know what I mean? And let me tell you something. If I gotta go work at McDonald's and go up to, and you see me at McDonald's saying, welcome to McDonald's, may I take your order, please, sir? Shit, I'm that dude. I ain't too humble. I ain't too proud for none of that. You call me what you want to call me. I'm trying to get the bag, and I'm gonna do it by any means necessary. See, that's a lot of problems with a lot of people out here nowadays. They trying to look the part, out here scamming, scheming and manipulating and lying and playing these games. I ain't gonna do that. I'll go get me a job, regular job. I ain't no shit, man. See, I've been there. I've done that. I know what that's like. I know what the setup is. You know what I mean? And for anybody, you know, I say this to anybody that's listening: don't let nobody never talk you down about a job, man. You go get your money. How you go get your money? It's all green when you spend it. I don't care what you're doing. And a lot of times, when the higher you are, the more stressful it is. You know, the more bullshit that come with the game. Tupac told you. You know what I mean? You know, and from that perspective. So, like I said, the lies and the manipulation that has been told and that has been interwoven in this thing on YouTube with this commentary space that we occupy, right? You know, it's pathetic. And so I needed to bring that to your attention. You know, the lies about Suge, the lies about Snoop. He don't own Death Row. They just put the project out. You're not gonna hear them come back and say to themselves, like, you know what? Yeah, I really didn't know that. I really didn't know nothing about that. When real men do that, real men say, hey, you know, made a mistake right there. You know what I mean? I didn't take that one back. But it wasn't never anything to be fully taken seriously anyway, because it was a lie. It was based on jealousy. It was based on hate. It was based on envy. It was based on deceit, right? Therefore, nothing good can come from it. So now every time somebody speaks about something, they come back and it's like, you know, such and such said something. What you think about that? He don't know nothing about it. Nothing. But will speak on it as if he does. And Gullible John, once again, who is basically using Reggie as a catalyst. And like I said, John had never met Suge. Suge said that. See, that was one of the things that John never really elaborated on. Have you ever met Suge Knight? Did you know Suge Knight? No. Period. Right? And so once again, you see John being the orchestrator of all of this discontent, these lies, and he knows that they're lies. But as long as he can benefit and profit off of the lies from our community, from our culture, right? He will continue to do so with your support. With your support. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. Like I said, the lies about Tupac, the lies about Snoop, the lies about Suge, the lies about Michael Moore, the lies about Frank Alexander. Right? You know, and like I said, I stay on the side of you know, just keeping it factual. If I ain't got nothing to say, I ain't got nothing to say. You know, sometimes I want to go live. I want to talk about certain things. And I ask myself, can you really, you know, articulate on that? Or can you really, you know, expound or add something to that? No, I can't. So I won't do it. I don't want to just say anything. You know what I mean? Y'all catch on to that. You catch on with somebody just wanting to say something just to say something. You know what I mean? But when we're talking about this truth and these facts and exposing these perpetrators in the space of commentary, right? And the lies and the usury of people's names and the degradation and the salaciousness and the disrespect, right? Also that somebody can come listen to you talk, but really, essentially, you're not saying anything. It's like, ooh, you heard what he said? And then a week later, it's like, you know, I said that, you know. Another thing, I wanted to say this, and this was very, very serious. A few months ago, the young lady who was at Death Row, who she had been assaulted. She had been assaulted. I forgot her name. She was on the Art of Dialogue, and she had been assaulted in some situation that happened. And Reggie was talking about to her, right? And he was laughing about, you know, she got beat up and and so on and so forth, right? Just the other day, and he made money off of these jokes and laughing about Simone, I think her name was Simone something. I forgot what her name was, right? And so now that the Diddy tape had came out, now he was like, well, I owe all these other women an apology. What? You see what I mean? See, when it was popular to laugh about something like that, a woman getting beat up or mistreated, right? He was all with it. Right? But then the Diddy tape came out and the public sentiment had changed around that and what we witnessed and what we saw. and rightfully so. But that should never be laughed at. That should never be condoned. Because it's wrong. Period. You know, if you can't, yeah, Simone, there you go, Simone Green, the photographer. If you cannot, if she doesn't want to be in your space no more, let her go. But he's now saying, oh, I owe some women an apology. And that wasn't the only woman. You see what I'm saying? See, once it's favorable to them or to him and Gullible John, they'll exploit it for cash, right? But now that the Diddy tape came out, now all of a sudden he like, yeah, I'm gonna do a video because I owe some women an apology. They don't want your apology. You already laughed at them. You laughed at their down moment. You laughed at them at their worst or one of the situations that hurt them the most. Come on. Once again, you see what I'm saying? You see the irresponsibility, the lack of accountability, the lack of respect, the lack of being truthful, the lack of being candid, right? The using a culture that they were never really a part of. Reggie was never really a part of hip hop. You were security. Hip hop gave you a job. Let's talk about it. Hip hop gave you a job, as it gave so many other people, white executives, all of that. It's $1 billion business. But let's speak specifically to Reggie Wright Jr. So hip hop gave him a job that he never had. He never rapped, never sung, never did nothing. Those complimentary plaques he got that he sit on that couch and behind him, he didn't earn none of them. They gave that to you because they felt sorry for you. You didn't put no work in, nowhere, no how. And they had the audacity to talk about my latest drop that I put on Spotify, my greatest hits joint, 27 songs. That's a little something I dropped out. Go check it out. DELRAY's greatest hits on Spotify. Banging 27 straight jumps. Everything you hear on that record is me rapping, singing, writing, and me and my partner producing. Period. Because guess what? That's my contribution to this jam called hip hop. Right? My shit is award winning. You see the awards on the wall, right? You see the awards on the wall? Yeah. I don't need nobody. I don't need an industry that is a 501c3 in the Grammys and all of that to tell me that I was good at what I did. Because the artists that they had signed over there, Sony, the Black Eyed Peas, when we went head up, I beat them. Period. And they sold millions of records, yeah, but they sold millions of records with the machine, right? And I'm happy for all of them, right? But at the end of the day, these guys criticize people who have put in real work and done real things, right? And they have done absolutely, positively nothing. Zero. Zilch. And when put in responsibility of protecting the artist that gave them the job, protecting Tupac, who gave Reggie the job for his company to be his personal security, he failed them. He failed them. You see what I'm saying? So when we talk about the totality of what I'm saying, I come to you to bring that to you, to constantly remind you that they'll try to get away from the fact that they had been lying and try to change the narrative. But I won't let them do that. I won't let them do it. Like I said, Reggie Wright Jr. sabotaged Tupac and Suge Knight on September 7th, 1996 in Las Vegas, period. That was the first line of defense was security. And he didn't do his job. And ever since then, the guilt, the shame, the embarrassment has been eating away at him. The karma has been eating away at him. Because he had done so many people so wrong when he thought that he had a position of power when he should have been leading in the right direction. You see, he didn't think 30 years from now when he was doing that. He didn't think 30 years from the point that he was doing all of that stuff that he was saying, doing. He sent people at people. He had people beat up. I sent such and such and such and such, and I did this, that, and the other. He didn't think 30 years. He didn't think 30 years out. Yeah. See, from that perspective. And so now we see the truth. They say lies run sprints, but the truth runs marathons, man. You know, and so, like I said, I bring that to you today because I felt like I needed, because I looked at the pattern of what was going on and what had taken place in regards to what was going on, and it was the same pattern. You know, and I follow patterns. I say, I'm like, you know what? Stu been lying. Tupac, Snoop, Suge, Michael Moore, Frank Alexander, you know, all of these people degrading women, you know, saying that Jaguar Wright looked like a man. All of that. You can say what you want, like I said, about whoever you want, right? All of these other things about people's sexuality and all of this. People he don't even know, man. He didn't know Biggie like that. To say Biggie was some kind of bisexual or something. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Tupac was raped in jail and all that. It's crazy. That didn't happen. I talked to his father. He got all of the information that was due from Tupac from that perspective. And other than the stuff that Tupac brought home when he came home and the stuff that his mother got, it never happened. Period. So when we talk about that, once again, remember, Reggie Wright Jr. and Gullible John at Bomb First will say anything. Absolutely, positively anything. Anything to get a click and to get a view. And the only person that you're fooling when you listen is you. Your boy DELRAY, straight game.